Okay, I'm going to do a quick recording of a glide reflection, just the technique. We're going to start with a rectangle. So we're going to go to the shapes, take a rectangle. Again, after you pick your rectangle, you probably want to unfill it, make the lines thin so there's less error. And then I'm going to zoom in so I get a better view of this. I'm also going to focus on using the same tools as I did with the translation tessellation. So in Insert, you can go to Shapes and use the Curve tool. It's a good one to practice with. On a glide reflection, you want, I'm going to actually move the rectangle down a little bit. Okay. On a glide reflection, you still want to work corner to corner. So I clicked on the Curve tool. This is a little bit thicker line that I'm using so you can see it better, but I recommend you use a thinner line for accuracy. But just so you can see the process, I'm using a thicker line. So again, the curve tool, you click once and then you don't drag, you let go and you move the mouse, and then you click and that's where your curve begins. And then you can do that, repeat that click, and then I'm going to go to my corner here. To stop that, I'm going to do a double click. I'm going to copy this by holding the control key down. When I push control, you see the cursor switch to an addition sign, which means you're going to click and drag and you'll get an additional one. So if you glide down, your next step is to reflect horizontally. So over up in the upper right hand corner, you'll see this option as a rotate or flip. If you click on that, you want to do a flip horizontal. So that's a glide down and a flip horizontal. Go back to Insert and take Shape tool again. Experiment maybe with the freeform tool. And on this side, we're going to create just a translation, not a glide reflection. So I'm going to hit the corner. And if you want to keep part of the line, you can click, hold the shift key down and drag, and you'll go right vertically. Then I'm going to click again. I'm going to go out a little bit. And then anytime I click, who knows what this is going to make. You turn a corner until you double click, and then you've got a new shape. This is just a glide, so I'm going to hold the control key down. When I do that, you see the addition sign, and I'm going to translate it over and line it up corner to corner. That's going to be my new shape. So remember, anytime you do a tessellation, you want to save your file as with the rectangle or the shape that you begin with. So I'm going to do a save as and call this Carews Glide Reflection Shape. And make sure you save that somewhere where you can find it. Right away, then I would do a save as and say Carews Glide Reflection Tessellation. Now you have two copies. On the second copy, delete the rectangle and group the objects. So group by holding the shift key down. Now I right click and group. And I'm ready to do a glide reflection with this shape. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit now, just to 100%. So when you do a glide reflection, it's nice to use alternating colors. You'll see that going this direction, it's just a straight translation. If you click on the actual figure, there's a way to change colors. I'm not seeing, yeah. So I'm going to pick, say, yellow, just so you can see the difference. So the first thing I like to do is group two of them. Have alternating colors. And then it's easy to click and drag and put them into place. You can use the arrow keys to adjust if you need to. And if you're not sure how it looks, you can always zoom in and see how accurate you are. So over here we could probably do a little bit better in the connection right here. But for today's purposes, just teaching the process, I think that looks fine. Oops. I'm going to create one full row by holding the control key down and getting that addition sign, dragging off the page. If you want to drag off the page, you'll have to stop before it's off the page, and then let go of your mouse and then keep pushing it off the page. If you push your mouse off the page, the whole thing leaves the page. So I'm going to nudge that in just like so. Now I'm going to do one more set of grouping. And what makes this different than a translation is when I go vertically, remember to create the shape, I glide it down. Oops. But then I have to do a flip. So I'm going to select my shape and go to the home screen to format and do a horizontal flip. And then piece the shape in so the colors alternate. And then nudge it a little bit so I don't see a lot of error. And that's the basics of a glide reflection. I can't. There we go.